And now to that investigation in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, now the site of a deputy-involved shooting death.
The Pasquotank County Sheriff's Office says the man shot is now been identified as Andrew Brown Jr. and that he was the subject of a search warrant. Still a lot of unanswered questions regarding that. As you heard live here on News 3 a moment ago, they just finished a news conference releasing very few details. Now, right now, News 3 reporter Brendan Ponton is live in Pasquotank County. So, Brendan, bring us up to speed.
Yes, really not a ton of new information just came out of that press briefing. Like you mentioned, we know that this all happened at about 8:30 this morning on Perry Street here in Elizabeth City, which is about less than a mile from where we are. And we know that Anthony Brown was shot and killed by a Pasquotank County deputy during a search warrant. We don't know what kind of search warrant it was or what prompted Brown to get involved with the police this morning. We do know, though, from the sheriff that the deputies did have body cameras on and they were active at the time, but the sheriff says he has not viewed the body camera footage yet, so we were not able to see it yet. Now, we were out there earlier this afternoon, and it was very tense, kind of a standoff in the middle of the street between people in the neighborhood and the law enforcement. Now, we learned from family there that the man killed was named Andrew Brown. His family says he lived right by the area and was in his car when the shooting happened. The shooting happened right by a tent that law enforcement had set up that is right across from his house. His family members came to the scene, and a lot of them had questions about what happened. But before we get to that, let's hear from the district attorney, Andrew Womble, who just spoke with us.
What we are looking for at this time will be accurate answers and not fast answers. We're going to wait for the full and complete investigation performed by the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, their agents. And then we will review that, make any determinations that we deem appropriate at that time. This will not be a rush to judgment. We're going to wait for that investigation as we're duty bound to do.
And we know that the State Bureau of Investigations will be handling this investigation, and when they're done with that, they will turn over their findings to Andrew Womble and the district attorney's office, and he will make a determination on whether or not there are any criminal charges that will be the result of this. But as I mentioned, the family of the man who died very upset, and we spoke with his aunt earlier.
My nephew was a sweetie. He did what he did, but he was a sweetie. And I ain't sugarcoat nothing, baby. I ain't sugarcoat nothing. But I think they wrong. And this stuff right here need an end. You know what I mean? And I'm tired.
Now, all of this, of course, coming a day after the jury decision in Minnesota, so adding to the tension out there. And we know that there is an emergency city council meeting that will be happening tonight at 6 o'clock. And we know that several groups plan to also be here, including the NAACP, as they are demanding more answers. And coming up tonight on News 3 at 5, we'll be putting more about what we know happened together. We're live in Elizabeth City. I'm Brendan Ponton, News 3.